I'm excited to introduce Brennan DeFrisco. He is a poet, teaching artist, editor, voice actor, and program coordinator from the San Francisco Bay Area. I first got to know Brennan through California Poets in the Schools, where he is an active teacher and area coordinator. He's been a National Poetry Slam finalist, a Pushcart Prize and Best of the Net nominee, and a champion of the Oakland Poetry Slam. Brennan is the author of Honeysuckle Nightshade from Swimming with Elephants publications, and A Heart with No Scars from the Nomadic Press and Black Lawrence Press. His work has been published in Red Wheelbarrow, Oracle Fine Arts Review, Drunk in a Midnight Choir, Gemini, and other places. He holds an MFA in creative writing from Antioch University in Los Angeles. Please welcome Brennan DeFrisco.
Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? All right, wonderful. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing the space. Thank you, Joel, for your poems. And thank you to everybody who comes out to support art, be it live, virtual, or otherwise. This community does not exist without all of us. So thank you for you. This first poem I'm going to read is one of my favorites to get things started. This is called Amazing. Excuse me. Yes, you in the room looking up at me. I have reason to believe that you are amazing. And here's why. Did you know you can glow in the dark? Humans are bioluminescent. No matter what color your skin is, this light that our eyes can't see lets all the other predators know where we are. And we all look delicious when the moon wakes up hungry. Instead, let's talk about love. An avalanche of neurotransmitters moving through you. They speed up your heartbeat, make it hard to eat or sleep. These are the same chemical effects as amphetamines. We are literally addicted to love. In your blood, there will always flow a small dash of gold. You are more precious than you know. And did you know we share half our genetic code with bananas? Or that a few of us can taste the flavor of syllables as we speak them? Some women have an extra color receptor or two and see more shades of red and blue than men will ever know. Loneliness is physically painful. The same part of the brain that makes pain frightening drives us to connect, to seek companionship, to feel home in someone else's arms, and to feel lost when you aren't there. Which may explain why your tears act like memories. They change shape depending on why you're crying. Even though 90% of the cells in your body have their own DNA and are not technically you, every atom you are is 99.99999% empty space. And none of them are the ones you were born with, but all of them were born in the belly of a star. You are so amazing. I just thought you should know. Thank you. I want a new poem, the kind that makes poets sit up in their chairs, makes the air alive with fireflies, and sends adrenaline up the spines of all my books. I want a poem that reminds you of 2 seconds before the last kiss that made you swoon, suspended in a sunset of endless eyes just about to dusk. I want a poem that makes you forget your whole life, with a writing surface as wide as the sky and as long as a dying sun's event horizon. I want a new constellation of syllabic stars, a mind spark starting to flame. I want to tamper with the smoke detectors until the brain becomes backdraft, until ideas shatter the light bulbs they arrived in. I want a new light bulb to arrive in. I want a new poem with similes that linger, epistrophes dripping with local bees and their slow gold. There are only a few foods that can outlive you and never spoil, immortal as student loans, only sweeter. I want a sestina made of honey. I want a stanza that will outlive me and never spoil. I want a new poem, one that speaks all the tongues, tells the people there will be water, then tomorrow a well in walking distance of every village. Gardens overflow. The harvest exceeds the mouth it feeds, then tomorrow, when the children read the poem again, a cross-continental head nod, a smile at every fireside and phone screen. I want to forget every translation for the words, I'm thirsty. I want a new poem, something between dreams and hope. So I ask my students, what have you written today? And as they speak, the air is alive. Every word, a firefly that will outlive me. So this book that I put out last year, I'm very happy is like physical and in the world. It's very nice to be able to hold it in my hands. Feels real in a different way. Very much centers around joy and around love in a lot of different ways, a lot of different lenses for it. It is called Honeysuckle and Nightshade because sometimes love is delicious and sometimes it can possibly kill you. So it depends on how you treat love and how love treats you. This next poem I'm going to read is my girlfriend's favorite poem in the book, and this is not the poem I expected to read as often as I do, but she knows when I don't read it. Like she'll ask me if I read it, and my best poker face does nothing to her. So I like reading it, knowing that I'm honest in saying that I do. This poem is called Steph. A man found a cloud on his back porch and decided to keep it as a pet. He wasn't sure what clouds ate, so he set out a plate of water, a bowl of microclimates, unsure which one the cloud would prefer. It chose the Oakland Hills, so the man named it Steph. At night, the cloud cried outside the man's door. He let it sleep on the edge just this once. Steph predictably wet the bed. When the rains came again, the man was pouring his morning cereal and noticed the picture of a nimbus on the milk carton. It was Steph. It read, "Missing. If seen, please call the National Weather Service." I might, the man thought. I just might. The next day, the man trained Steph to rain on specific people. A week later, they made cyclones at the local pond. That night, Steph sneezed lightning and it made the man smile. Steph loved the man, and the man loved Steph. And the man thought, what's one missing rain cloud, more or less? And to follow that, because I'm grateful to say my girlfriend and I are approaching 10 years together, which is my longest time hanging out with someone and them wanting me to hang out with them as well. So this is my favorite poem in the book because it is about her. So for context, growing up, I always knew that I was one radioactive spider bite away from living the comic book dreams of my life. And when that did not happen, I met Allie, and this poem showed up instead. This is called To My Superheroine Girlfriend from the Warehouse on the Docks. You can tell the quality of a villain by the kind of chair they strap you to and what they use to tie your hands. Hemp, metal, electrical tape, and on one memorable occasion, poisonous snakes coiled in a bowline behind my back, waiting for the command to fang my flesh. But tonight, I am not impressed. Cracked pleather and duct tape. Not the date night I'd imagined. We have reservations at Benihana. I was running late, mid-shave, when your third or fourth nemesis came looking for you, ruined the living room with those Wile E. Coyote bombs you love, not the globe and wick, but the round face double bell, tick, 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 and at least 6 sticks of TNT. He gave the usual speech, wearing latex less menacing than he thinks. And I had to wait until he was done to complain about the wall he demolished for the sake of an entrance. It took weeks to pick a paint color we could agree on. And now I can't remember its name. I think we can still make it for your favorite part when the chef turns the fried rice into a beating heart, flips shrimp tails into his tall white hat. As I writhe in my restraints, I'm trying to decide my entree while I wait for you, my beautiful rescuer, who I'm sure will order the scallops. There was a time I thought I'd never be enough for you, that your shine was so bright you'd never see me as you flew above the city. But here we are, years later. I'm still the only one they kidnap, the only bait they use to get your attention. And that always makes me feel super too. All right. These all of these selections, I may say, is as good a time as any, since we're talking about my beloved. My book is currently available on her website, which, if you are so inclined, in the tarot or oracle card arts, her business is called Creepy Girl Trap, because that is where you can find your creepy girlfriend, somewhere near her store if you lose her. So my collection is available on her website. It is also available at Powell's City of Books. I think it's powells.com. But if you would like to further support, I would recommend checking out Creepy Girl Trap, because shameless nepotist plug in my beloved's direction. She is awesome. I'm glad I get to spend time with her. I'm sad that you don't. But I'm going to read some new poems. This is somewhere that, I like bringing new work from time to time. So this is called A Poem, Possibly. Is a poem the sound, the vibration of language through soft chords? Is a poem subject to the room's acoustics? Does it hit a curved surface differently? Is there a perfect pitch where each syllable sings? Is a poem the paper, the ink? Is a poem between them before they touch? Is a poem asleep until spoken? If this page burns, will the poem become a ghost? Can a poem haunt you? Is a poem the space between us receding? Is a poem the part you want to hear again or turn away from? Is a poem the time you spend with it? Eyes on the book while the dryer runs, open mic on the other side of the water, the edge of right now if the vessel is speaking and these echoes are fresh waves breaking over your shallows. Are you in a poem right now? Or is a poem a moment you feel? Does it live between ribs? Exist when it kicks your heart or the parts that still hurt? Is a poem seeing your reflection in the art? Is a poem a slice of space-time cast in amber? Is a poem part of the past that we're able to edit? Is the past a poem we're still translating? Do you want to hear that part again or turn away? Are we sharing a poem right now? Is it okay if we stay just a little longer? Is a poem only finished when it ends? Thank you. I am broadcasting from Maine as we speak. I'm out here to see some East Coast family. And this poem, which was technically still newish, was written on the lake that we're going to be spending some time on. The water moves differently here. Chitters in the branches, neighbors with wings. I am a lattice work of in-progress things. I should be kinder to myself. I am swooning at the sound of your pen. Ripples lead to the lake's end and back again. Time travel happens in bright flashes. I am trying to curve the light, the shortest distance in the truth. Sometimes we take the long way round. Sounds have a way of remembering you too. I have seen lightning more recently than you. I think cities are far away on purpose. I think trees hug each other too slowly for us to see. A lake at rest will stay at rest until the first hook is lowered. Why can I move others closer to joy than myself? Brain chemistry is all chaos and good timing. Imagine how primitive the footage shows us to be. There is not time enough to stop writing. A book is only a book if it is written. Write the words down first, then worry about the rest. I'm losing count of the lines. En route to 25, an arbitrary finish line. There is only one finish line with a concrete trophy. Our names carved above our remains. Or maybe the victory lap is knowing you wrote at all. The time wheel moves again. I haven't celebrated myself nearly as much as my friends. I try to hold all the cups I'm given, trying not to spill abundance, stain the carpet. Why aren't we what we've been taught we are? You'll find out what kind of neighbor you've been soon. I can hear the movement through the water. The loons are having a party across the way. An owl flies close enough to become the forest. I'm amazed this branch can still hold me. If you grip the trunk too long, the fruit is always out of reach. I am reaching for something sweet through the smoke. I am reminding a field of strawberries they will return. Has your thumbnail pierced and curled the sunset's rind? Are you keeping mason jars of all the joys you don't forget? I can point you back to the sea if your journey is calling. I don't think we walk through water. I think it decides to make room for us. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. I am going to do one more poem and call it a pleasant evening. Thank you so much for sharing the space. Thank you for you. As I've said, I appreciate getting to spend time with poets and see how they move the words. So I'm looking forward to the open mic. This is the last poem in the book, and it is also what inspired the cover art, if you get a chance to check out one of those sites. This is called Poem in Which the Heart Becomes a Garden. Imagine the coroner's surprise when he finds the first bouquet, roots veining through maroon muscle, blooming between idle lungs, a substernum terrarium, petals still cradling some of the sun's luster, a quiver of wind where a pulse would be. Studies suggest the genus of each engine may change, shapeshift, depending on the conditions in which they grow. Marigolds sprout thorns when provoked. Roses turn oleander overnight, doors closing behind them, trimming light like long shears. Some people will treat you like poppies, ground down until you can pass through the eye of a needle. So many learn where to fold in on themselves, avoiding even the kindest of bees. We are all greenhouses, honeysuckle and nightshade, forsythia and foxglove, daffodils and digitalis. All of us, amateur gardeners, learning to tend the soft plots in our chest. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate you.